Okay, I believe we are back. I know I'm back. Hope y'all are back here pretty quick, pretty soon. Craft is now live. We got that one going. Other one should be up as well. Lunchtime. I had a snack. Had a little snack. All right, so that's the Spirocraft is live. Back, getting everything set back up. Place is starting to look like something's going on here. Like there's some work going on. Me get all these things all turned on to where I can keep track. All good. Okay, we're back. Let's say we are back. Kind of funny when you don't know which computer to type into. Hey, Todd Hall, Peter Blair. All right, I was just saying we are back. Time to have some more fun. Oops, that was an interesting character I typed. So you guys are here. I'm in three places. I'm on my personal page, and I'm on the Spirocraft page. And Lorianne's back. And I'll say back. Sure that everything's working. Maybe I get the smiley face right this time. No. Try one more time. I can't type in the dust over here. All right, there we go. That's all looking good. So as usual, as before, I'll be jumping back and forth over to the monitors to check on questions and all. I say hello to everybody who's coming back. I'll wait a couple minutes. So I've decided to go ahead for this one is the guest regional turner. Normally at 11, but you know me, little late, 11:30. Because I run long. Nonetheless, guest regional turner. Well, the guest regional turner is me, and I decided to go ahead and just continue on this piece that we have here, and I decided that I want to do a resin fill right in here. Okay, so I'm going to do maybe a little more turning on this and get it where I want it to be. I could do a double resin fill, as a matter of fact, if I wanted to, just for yucks. Um, and what I'll do is at 1:30, I'm opening the pressure pot for the resin turning. So if I time this just about right, I can just go ahead and this has a 2-hour open time. I can go ahead and take the other one out of the pot and drop this one in the pressure pot. Let's see, that's 1:30, and it is 1:45 now, or 1:45. I hope not. 1:45. So that's only an hour and a half. So that would be fine. I don't think it would. It's nice and cool in here. I don't think it's going to sit up. So I think that's what I'll do is we'll swap places in the pressure pot with the two pieces that the one from yesterday and this piece. So that being said, I'm going to think about this. I'm going to take a look at it. Now it's on the faceplate. So what I'm going to do is take the faceplate off. So I want to take a look at this and get a good idea of what I got going on. And think about it. It's sometimes, it's nice to go ahead and take a look. Go back here. It's nice to take a look at it, from above and look at it and think about what you're going to do. And so if I'm going to fill this moat, if you will, with resin, Now, I've got this natural void here. I've got some still old bark in there. Do I want to do a double fill? Not sure. I could do something different because getting all that old bark, it's kind of neat to have the black hole there. Yet this punky stuff is not so attractive, and it's not going to all chip out. So I've just got a few things to think about, and obviously this is going to get turned again because we're going to put the resin in, and we're going to have to turn it back to smooth. So let's think about this. I see there's some splits in there now. One thing that's going to happen is it's going to absorb some resin. So I will kind of pre-seal. I've been learning this. I'll coat this with some resin once we mix it in clear and let it start to soak in so that our pour itself doesn't, the resin that we're pouring that counts doesn't disappear. This top, let me go to overhead. I went to end. I'll get these numbers figured out. I'm going to have to change that numbering system. There we go. There's some nice grain. Get it right there, Brad. Where's the camera? Over there. There's some nice grain up in here that's going to clean up when this gets turned properly. I might still make this just a little teeny, after the fact, after all the resin is in, I might make this a little teeny short finial of some kind. So I'm just going to leave that as a bump. I don't need to do anything there. I need to decide about that. We have a crack right here that I will bet you resin from this crack will probably ooze out and fill that one right there. Okay. The grain in the middle of this is really cool. I was looking at this when it was sitting on the, I don't know if you can see this or not. This grain has a nice wave to it going right down through there. So that's a pretty piece in the center of natural wood. So we're going to have natural wood, resin, natural wood, resin, natural wood if I fill everything. The bottom we don't see too much, although the bottom there's nothing wrong with it at all. My tenon is already made. That'll work fine. So do I need to do any more turning on this? I think there's a void right here. There's a little nick. And if I fill this up with resin, that you can see that little nick right there, resin's going to run out. So I think I need to cut this rim down to where that nick is gone. All right. So let's put her back on here, and we'll do a couple of things to it. And then, like I say, I'm not completely set up here, but I'll just mix the resin on the lathe. I may have my way of making the lathe not get covered up with resin. I've got my airbrush paper out in the van right outside. I might just run out and grab that. Take care of the lathe. I don't want to make a mess here, and I don't want to really roll the table over here right now. I have figured out how to use my lathe as a work table out on the road without getting resin all over the place. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's fix a couple of these things here. During the break, I ran Bridget down, my wife, and we picked up her car getting the oil change. So glad that local businesses are still open in all this craziness. Let's see. Let's go back up here for a second. Choice of tool. I want a real light cut. I've got a negative rake for what's coming up on my number 1 cutter. So I think I'll just use my mid-size CI3 for this. Just come in here and clean that up. And anything else that I choose to do. Okay, so let's get that going. I always do that to myself. These masks are, I like these masks. These are the Jackson Safety. Some out at the shows. I don't know if I have them on the website or not. They're $25. They're lightweight. They breathe well, especially when you drill extra holes in there. Work out pretty good. I don't need my tailstock for anything right now. And let's do a little turning right here. Let's just clean up. What am I on? Let's go overhead. Let's clean up this little rim. Get that nick out of it. Now again, I'm not going to get super worried about the finish cuts on here, because again, when we put the resin in, we're going to have spills and drips and drops. And I'm also leaving enough wood that I can, because I've got some tear out here, that I can, I still have enough wood to turn to clean that up after the fact. I do think, since we're here, I want to take, if I can get in here, I know I was using the bigger one earlier. I'd like to make this a little bit smaller, right in the center. I could do it now, I can do it later. But let's see if I can do it. I was getting chatter before with this. Let's see if we can take, I just want to kind of change this curve a little bit. Again, this round style carbide cutter is so nice for this kind of sculpting work. You hear me just barely touch the rim with the shaft of the tool there. Because the smaller I make this center section, the more profile I have. And hence the more shape to it. Now, I don't want to make it super small, because when I turn the resin, and I've got a thing I'm going to do after we fill this with resin. I'm going to bring another piece out to fill out this. I'm going to turn the top of the Saturn bowl down here for you. If you're a Monday Methods follower of mine, you'll know the Saturn bowl, and it's the same principle as this for some filling, so I thought it would fit right in. Now I can turn this down more later after I turn the resin away in the top, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the shape. And I might turn on this on Sunday with the resin, because the resin will be cured, and we can bring this piece back out. One of the things I like to do at the woodworking shows is have pieces that are a continuation throughout the day. Okay. And I guess the sound is all good, because nobody's saying that they can't hear me, so that's all good. I've been tuning the sound in, getting it adjusted. Get me my mask off there, Dubby. To make sure that the sound was good. Yesterday I was overdriving the system. Imagine that. And so I made some adjustments to stop that from happening. Oops. Who's driving this computer anyway? Who's driving this computer? Hey, let's see who's over here. Mr. Peter Brown, I've missed you, Mr. Peter Brown. Hope you're doing well out there in California. I know they locked you in your house. My scroll bar here. Matt Harbor. Matt, I think I got that name right. Richard Crosby. All kinds of folks are coming by. Diana Holt. Mr. Phillips, JP, as we know him. Mary Alice, good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. We're having fun out here today. I'm on round 2. Again, you guys have any kind of comments or questions, put them in here. I will find them eventually. you know, as I jump around. Look over here at YouTube. Oh, I'm not looking at my own stream on YouTube. Be sure I cover all the angles. I'm not a glutton for punishment, am I? Being one person and running 3 different feeds. That opened up. Sure I got it right. Okay. Everything looks good. All right. So I think that's good with the turning. Now, what am I going to do about those holes right there in the end? That hole. What am I going to do? Well, let's come in here and pick at this a little bit more. Make a decision. I think what I'm going to do, because I want to make this solid, what I might do is just coat this. I know what I'm going to do. He says, I'm going to find my crushed opal. If I can, I'm going to find my crushed opal. I think it might be in the van. Maybe a secondary part. I think I will glue, and this is from Imagine Grove, Imagine Inlay. They have crushed opal, and I think I might glue some crushed opal to this softwood because I can kind of stick it in there, and then maybe do a little underwater scene in here. Maybe go ahead and fill this resin. Leave that black natural, something like that. I don't know. I'm just having fun thinking about it. Okay, so that's my new plan there. Let's take the banjo off, make ourselves a little room to make some resin up. Let's take the banjo off, he says. Come on. Yeah, I have this problem all the time. It's called rust. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to leave the banjo on. We're going to take the tool rest off. And I'll make my paper fit. Move this back down. Like I said, I'm hoping that right out in the van. I'm going to leave the faceplate on here because I don't think I need it for anything else today. If so, I've got more, obviously. I'll come up with another one. Because I want to turn this on the same axis that it's on now. Okay? So, do-doom. Let's set that for there for the moment. And because I'm going to run out to the van. So I'm going to let you guys ponder this guy. Trying to find a way to make it sit where it looks kind of interesting. Stick under there while I'm out the door. There. Okay. I'm going to go to overhead, and I will be right back. I'm going to step out here to the mobile storage unit and see if my paper for airbrushing pad is in here. Because it folds nicely over top of the lathe. It's a nice little surface. Don't you love live streams? You never know what's going on, what you're going to get, what you're going to see. Oh, looky here. Lucky day. You should see the van. It's a mess. The warehouses are a mess. All I did was get everything unloaded out of the, well, not everything, obviously looking at the van. I got the van unloaded, the trailer unloaded, had the forklift just stick stuff in there. Can't hardly move or find anything. You do what you got to do. Okay. So, sheet of white, go back to that. So, by the way, even though it's not the same, you kind of get the idea, some similarities here of making goofy shapes that are fun, educational, great for your skill set. Absolutely fantastic for your skill set. So what I do is I just fold this stuff down so that I don't cover my lathe with resin anymore like I used to. This lathe was a mess after the last time I had it out on the woodworking show circuit. There's resin on the front edge that I tried sanding this stuff off. Epoxy is awesome stuff. And this Chromacraft epoxy really sticks to, I mean, literally anything. Okay. All right. Now, we need a plan. How much resin do we need? That's the question at hand. Get my special cups out. Go mix a batch. So if you're wondering, you know, do I wing it? Do I play it by ear? Well, of course I do. That's how I have fun. Okay? So we'll mix up our 3 cups of resin, or we'll pour our 3 cups of resin. That's the end. So I'm going to change that camera just to fuzz for you. First one is hardener. This is a 2-to-1 ratio. So there goes my hardener. Right up to the magic line for exact, precise measurements. It actually really is quite accurate, believe it or not. Now the big question comes, so what are we going to do for colors and colorations in this? While I'm mixing this and talking and working, and I'm going to put a coat of clear on once it's mixed up, I will go take a look in the chat boxes, the comment columns, for suggestions. I'm wide open. So you know the piece of wood, you know the brown, what it looks like. What should I do for colors or color-wise? And if I have what somebody's thinking of, and I can do it and mix it all up, if I have it close by, because I don't know what all I have here exactly, then be happy to do it. We can add pearls, we can add spin gems, we can make it look like stone, we can make it look fluorescent. We can do a lot of things. And one thing I'm going to do is change where this microphone is hanging. Lock it up here. Tell me if that makes a bunch of noise or anything on you guys. I'm going to turn this off for just a second. I got to make a change. Okay, I should be back sound-wise. Like I said, let me know if that crackles and makes noise and stuff. Put it up in my upper pocket. Let's see, scroll down. Hey, my dad's out here. Hope you're doing well today, Pop. We'll be back out in the shop soon. What am I looking for, Bradley? Looking for one of these. Looking for a mixing cup. So we can probably go back out here. I go through a ton of these yogurt cups, and it's a good thing because we eat lots of yogurt every morning, and these are the perfect uh, small batch, small to mid-sized batch of resin cups. They're healthy, they're free, works out great. And then my cottage cheese is my other mixer. So, and since my dad's here, I always like to say I got my thriftiness from my dad. Good thing. He probably would argue that not so thrifty. It's all relative, Pop. All right, this is getting close, and I'm going to stop that one, and I'm going to scrape this one out. Now, one of the things I've learned um, here in the last year or so working with the resins, when I'm doing it on the wood, this wood is, I mean, just raw, bare, and I would fill, and it happened over on the Saturn piece, which we're going to turn here in a few minutes. It soaks up a lot of resin, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a brushing in there of resin to start to seal it, because we end up losing. You think you've got it all filled, and you fill it to the brim, and then while it's starting to cure, it soaks in, and then you have to do another pour. You have to add more resin to it. And your only choice really, kind of sort of, is to add clear, unless you want to take the chance of adding another color on top. And that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. So, you know, if I was thinking way ahead, planning way ahead, I would seal the wood long before that I poured the resin to it. I would seal it. I tried the regular sealers, the aniline dye, the clear sealer from Chromacraft, and it doesn't give me enough seal for keeping the resin from running through. So using the resin itself is my next approach. All right. It's not as hot today. Yesterday was almost 90 degrees here, and the little air conditioner in the studio here doesn't always keep up. By the end of the day, I was getting pretty hot. So we'll give that a good stir. Now this is the 2-hour open time, so we've got lots of time to work. What I'll do is I'll mix it up, I'll seal my wood, and then I'll go over and look for any suggestions on color. Get a little chip brush out here. You know, the one thing, keep this in mind, although, you know, it might be a little waste of resin if it went that way. You have enough wood. If you did a resin pour like this and you were just totally disgusted with what you didn't like it, you can always turn that resin away. You don't have to keep it there. You can turn all the colors away so you get back to fresh wood. That's why I didn't make this paper thin. Leave yourself a little room for error, a little margin for error, a little fudge factor, as they call it. It'll save you a lot of times. If you make it right down to the nth degree to start with, and then something goes south, because things happen all the time. You know, not every time, but all the time. There's something happens, and didn't go the way you want it to, and there you are. So I'm just going to have to kind of estimate on this bottom piece on how far up, and I may end up, you know, whatever the finish is, it'll be. I don't know if there's a good way for you to see what's going on in any of the cameras. I think I'll just leave it on the front camera there. And just the resin is going up on the body of it. And see, and I can turn that away too after the fact, when we turn the resin down flat and smooth and all that. So I don't want to put any more up there than I have to, but I'm not terribly concerned about it. So this is my sealer coat, and I just want it to be soaking in so that our final pour in here is not all gone into wood grain. Okay. I am having so much fun. This is the creative world that I like to work in. Um, Everybody's different. When I was painting a lot, I used to do a lot of oil painting when I was in Colorado. I'd be middle of the winter, out of work carpenter, and I'd stay up all night painting. And I'd start a painting with no particular plan. I would just make a swoosh across the paper maybe, or the canvas with a brush, and just go from there. And I had a little studio that was separate from the house, and it'd be the middle of winter, so it might be a raging blizzard was going on. And I actually had a futon over there, and I had heat and all, and I wouldn't even go back and forth. I'd work for a while, I'd paint for a while, and I'd lay down, take a nap. I had music, I had everything I needed, without ever having to go back over to the house through the snow and the wind. Now I can go to the overhead for you on this one. Going on, and I'm just brushing this in. Mess, Brad. Sealing this up. Now the top hole there, I'm going to seal it too, but I may not fill it. I don't know. It depends on if I can put my hands on the crushed opal. Crushed opal is beautiful, and I've got this kind of this sea bottom, bright color seagrass, uh, in an abstract fashion in mind. And I know some of you might be looking at the grain in the wood and go, how can you want to cover that up with resin? Well, we've got the same grain right here on the top. So, experimentation is fine. You don't, not everything has to be a natural piece of wood. I mean, I like natural wood too, don't get me wrong. When I was turning and selling out at the craft shows, one of the questions I would sometimes get from somebody, how can you possibly put color on a beautiful piece of wood like that? And I would say, with a brush. It's just different. If you don't like it, there was plenty of natural pieces on the display for you to choose from. No big deal. If you didn't like color. Of course, there were a whole lot of people buying bright pink and black polka dotted bowls from me and whatnot, and all the other crazy colors. Primary color martini glasses. There was plenty of people who were happy with color, and that was 10 years ago. And color has come a long way working with color over that time. So I can see how this is soaking into, especially the end grain. So this is a great step to seal this up. Got it a little bit out of the camera there for you. Okay. Making sure that I have it up to the height of the outer rim here on this inner. I think I'll just go all the way around this inner rim here. Again, anything that's not there that I don't want will get turned away. Now the wood is going to have the color to it, but it's going to get the natural wood is going to get a natural clear finish on it anyway. So I'm not worried about that. Nice, good sealing there. We'll check it again. All right. So we're going to set this right over here for a sec. Go back. Where'd I go? I went to the end camera. That's not too exciting. Let's go right here. And I'm going to go over and check. No, let's go up the top. I just can't make up my mind today. And I'm going to go over and check for color suggestions before you guys turn me loose on my own. All right. Shades of blue. Little alabaster looking piece I made recently. Has gone to a co-worker with my wife. They love it. It's very special to them. It was a fun piece to make. So let's try the other one here. The wife is voting for blue. Bridget likes blue. Youth Backyard Gardening Initiative. What are we doing? Okay. Uh, yeah. Whatever that's about. All right. Shades of blue. And of course, my wife Bridget makes good suggestions. Anybody else a chance to have an opinion? Check this other one more time. Let's see. Yet to figure out why I'm on the wrong video over on YouTube. And again, all right, let me try one more thing. No comments? Okay, so we've got a vote for blue or shades of blue up in there. We did a light blue yesterday too, didn't we? That was kind of cool. Now, I'm hoping that that's enough resin for both of those. Now, here's the real trick that Genius here didn't think of. How am I going to pour that resin into that bottom slot? Well, I have a funnel. I have a funnel next door, so that might be possible. I see that I'm looking at where it's soaking in, and I want to show you this. I'm going to go to the end camera and see if I can show you how that's soaking into the end grain. Let me see if I can find where I'm looking at here. Enough tilt. Trying to figure this out. See how that's soaking in? That's amazing. See the dry up on this outer right there. So that's still soaking in resin. Okay. And that would be taking in resin that is of our color mix and lowering the level in our pour. So, and again, I see it's getting real dry right there. So it's a great idea to go ahead and seal this first. And, you know, I don't necessarily need to put any more in here. I can just take the excess that I already have and brush it back around again. Okay, and we'll do this a couple times as I make up the colors that are going to go in here, and I'll do the same thing to the bottom. A little harder to get to the bottom. We'll get there. Oh, I'm on that camera. I know my main man Dean Hyatt, who's the trucker who moves the woodworking shows. He also works with me in the booth during the shows, and I was going to make him the live stream producer for me for the last couple of shows, Syracuse and Columbus. So I was going to put him on the switcher, in charge of switching the camera around. You know, he is a sharp guy. I couldn't do it without him out there. He has saved me so many times in so many ways. I can't even begin to thank the man enough. Okay, so we're talking about a blue tint. I'm actually going to use one of my expensive store-bought cups because I want to see this color come together. And I threw all my colorants back in this drawer over here, so I'm going to dig them back out. And I have more in here. So where did I put my blue? Let's see. Green. Over there. Nope, they're in here somewhere. Okay, so Unscripted. You know how it rolls. Bradley starts digging around looking for stuff. Black, black. I don't want black. That blue I used yesterday, wherever it has gotten to, is the one I want. Plenty of black. I got green. I got red. Ultra blue. Ultra blue is a little bit different than I think I had marine blue yesterday. I need to dig through the piles here. No, I'll find it. I'll go with this ultra blue. I think there's some in there. But I want it to be, don't want it to be straight. I'm going to make it a light shade. I'm not going to pour it all in here. I'm just going to kind of guess about how much it might take. Fill that. And I could be way off on this, but I'm going to take about half of it. Because the way this is set up, I can always add, if I needed to, if I got desperate, I could add a little, I could just add some more resin tint to it, or some resin in there and stir it in. So there goes a couple of drops of blue. If it comes out like yesterday, I'm thinking maybe a little translucence in here. A little bit of white to lighten that up. A fresh stir stick. And let's see what we get. Let's go overhead for you. So that's very subtle in its blue. I'm going to put in that blue pearlescent, iridescent blue pearlescent that we had yesterday. I really liked the way that made this look. So this is very similar to yesterday's batch. Yeah, you're looking at the right one. I don't want it to be washed out, but I don't want it to be overpowering either. I think I want just a tick more color. Might have been more color than I wanted. No, that's all right. Because the iridescent pearls, they need a color to bounce off of, or they don't work. All right. So we want more iridescent in here. Carefully measured as always. I know one of these days what I'm going to have set back up in here again is there's actually right now all the computer stuff is over here, and it gets all covered up with the dust. It's going to go back, even though this is a small room, it's going to go back against the back wall in its own room, and I'll just have this little remote control out here, and I'll have another monitor, say over here, that's close, where I can look at all the chats. There are chat boxes that will bring all the chats, all the comments together in one place. This is Caster that I'm using as my streaming platform right now. It doesn't bring in YouTube. I was using Restream, and I was just testing different ones. I may go back to Restream because it will bring in a bunch, any of them. All right. That's what I want. Pick more. I know I said I didn't want much. And I want the pearls to have fun together. So my other favorite, iridescent gold. So you understand when you're making up a batch like this, and then all of a sudden you don't have enough. Why I talk about trying to make plenty. Make sure you make extra. Now, I'm on the edge with this, but what I would do is just add a little clear and stir it, mix it in the piece. So that's my color for the top. Right? That's my color for the top. Do I want to use the same color for the bottom? I don't think so. I want to do something different for the bottom. Bottom is smaller. I'm not going to commit all my resin. I'm going to leave some off to the side. I can always make more clear if I need to, but I'm going to leave a little bit off to the side here. It's going to be a resin kind of day. And I'm going back into my drawer over here, guys. Looking for yellow. I've got yellow. So, okay. Here's my funny color I have in mind for the bottom. Yellow resin tint with iridescent green pearl and satin white pearl. Sometimes it takes quite a bit of yellow. We may need more than that. No, I think that'll work. Yeah, that's got plenty of color to it. Here comes the iridescent green. Iridescent green pearl powder. What happens? Can we see it? See the pearl, but the green pearl, iridescent green, looks kind of yellowish. Which, that's all right. It's still got a pearlescence to it. I'll put a little bit more in there. Then I'm going to add the satin white. Well, slide these guys off to the side. What's the time looking like? 12:30. Okay. Next thing is at 1:30. All right. I have to have time to have a sandwich in between these today. Time management is one thing that I have learned over the years out on the road. If my seminars run long out on the road and I run into the next one, I don't get a chance to run over to the concession stand and grab a hot dog or whatever else might be almost edible out there. The time management is very important. I learned that early on as a demonstrator. If you're a demonstrator at symposiums, you have to stop. You got an hour and a half. You got to wrap it up because the next one is coming and the next demonstrator is standing there in the wings ready to go. So you got to figure out how to get it done on time. It's very important. Okay. The yellow's going to go in the bottom, but I want some more. I don't have enough. I'm not seeing enough green. Now, if I don't get enough green pearl, I'm going to add another darker color into my yellow, but I don't want to muddy it up. Go to overhead for you guys. 4. 4 is blank. So there's what we look like on the stick. See the pearlescence, the sheeny, and you can see the green on the sides. So that'll be interesting. Now our blue. Blue is very subtle, very clear, very translucent. I think I want a little bit more iridescent blue pearl in there. I'm going to toss a little satin white at it too. Then I'm going to brush around our piece one more time before we start to pour. And then we're just going to have to hope for the best on the sealant of that. Now this guy will be a little tricky because I have to set it somewhere out of the way where I don't spill it all, make a mess. Yeah, I like that blue a lot better now. Much better. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. Can we pour that in there without a funnel? Answer is sort of. To a point, but I don't think I'm going to be able to tip it long enough or far enough to get it all. So what I'm going to do is tip the piece over. There, now it starts to run around. You just have to outsmart gravity. You can't do that. You have to figure out how to work with the gravity. And I'm going to show it to you very well. By golly, this is going to be just about right. Am I lucky today or what? So I will show. I can't show you. I could zoom in with the front. That wouldn't work. Try the side camera. Pick this up carefully. That nope, not the right angles. There it is. Trying to drive. It'll make you seasick, but you can see it down in there, and it's almost filled right up to the brim. I was probably going to get a little less. And I do want to go around that top again with my brush before I commit to it. And I want to be done pouring the bottom before I pour the top, because once both of these are poured, once I pour the top, I don't want to be monkeying with this thing. I'm just going to set it off to the side. Okay? So let's seal that end grain back up again. That one. So just sealing this back up. Okay? I shouldn't curse myself. I say I can't imagine. I'm surprised I haven't made a bigger mess yet here. I wonder. I think we'll just take our chances. I'll lean it up a little bit more one more time. Hold this way up high. Right to the brim. I'm pretty sure it's going to sink in some. So I'm watching the far side. I'm leaning it just a little bit to my right, and right up to the edge, and then I'll stop. All right, that's that. We may have an egg mold pour coming up here shortly, and I do want to seal this. Talking about that earlier, I want to seal this guy where we're going to put the ocean scene. I'm going to seal right in the hole there. Move this over. Move this over. Overhead for you. And so I'm not going up on the surface any, necessarily. sealing this wood up. And if I can find my crushed opal this round, we'll do it. If not, I'll come back and do that in the second stage. Up the knot hole. Filling up that soft, punky wood right there. All right. Okay, let's let that sit. We haven't spilled too much yellow yet. I need a paper towel. Excuse me, walking over here. So it looks like we've got lots of blue. I can see now we have more blue than we need. So we're gonna get an egg resin pour out of this. Go. Yeah. Pour this guy in here. You never know how this will look. It might be cool, it might not be, but that's all right. We're having fun. Trying new things, that's the most important thing. Always try new things. Okay? You never get anywhere past where you are if you don't try new things. Too much fun. I don't get to spend enough time out in the shop / studio. The actual workshop is next door. This room is strictly for filming and streaming. The real mess is next door. Oh, we got lots of resin left over. We're making some eggs today. I don't know if you've been around when I talk about the eggs. I'm going to find them here. They're over in a box. And we'll pour up some resin eggs. We're making little teeny guys. 1, 2. Digging through my box of stuff here. They were totally unscripted on this one today. But this is pretty much how I work at the woodworking shows too. Not much different, to be quite honest. Old release, which is over here. Do I have another egg by chance? I used to have 6 of them. I'm down to 2. Go figure. But regardless, these are silicone egg molds for making hard-boiled eggs. I'm just going to shoot a little bit of mold release in there. You know they're silicone. I'm certain that it won't stick. And we're going to do something different with these. I'm going to look at my spin gems here. See what I have. Got some copper mine. Jade, just about the end of that. We've got a couple of spin gems. We're going to mix some spin gems, some artificial stone into these. And I'm going to let you look at that for a second while I come over here and look for some more, because I have lots more in this box. I'm going to make some faux stone eggs with these, along with those colors. They're pretty fun. They're pretty neat. I love turning them. White. Oh, there's fluorescent. I might do the fluorescent pink with the blue. I love colors. I love bright colors. Okay. So let's have a little fun here. Got a couple different ones. I'm going to pour a little more resin into the blue. Yellow looks like it's plenty full. Okay. So I'm going to add a little more into the blue top. I want to get it right up to surface tension, if you will, which will make it a real dream to put it in the pressure pot. But I want to fill this rim right up because I know it's going to soak down some. All right, I'm going to call that full enough. I'm going to set this just right over here. We will put that in the pressure pot at 130. All right, because I don't know where my pressed opal is at the moment. But I'll try and find that overnight. Maybe we can do that tomorrow. Okay. Eggs. Fun eggs. Oh, it's over there. I'm almost out of yellow. I'm not. Let's see. Pink and blue is what I was thinking about. So, what I'm going to do, best way to see this maybe is number 2 so you can see. I'm going to put fluorescent pink about halfway up this container, this egg mold. All right? Not all the way because we don't have enough room to stir it. Then I'll go ahead and fill this another third of the way up. Now I'll switch to overhead. And I'll give it a good stir. And we'll mix this because you want to be sure it's kind of like mixing up concrete. You want to be sure that the very bottom, the tip, is saturated with resin or is wet out, if you will. Okay. And when we turn this, we'll see the blue between the chunks and the pink, fluorescent pink. And you can have more or less resin. You can make it real solid with your colorant, or you can have bigger spaces with less colorant, and you get 2 different looks. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Now, the thing about these spin gems is they're going to sink to the tip, and there won't be any in the very bottom unless you make it full enough that they're sitting on each other. Okay. So this is going to be a neat color, this iridescent blue, along with, I think I'm going to put some more stones in here. And I'm going to stir it before I add any more resin. And these stones are in mixed, I don't know if you can tell, there's denting down to the real fine powder there. I love being the guest regional turner. I do whatever I want. Not that I don't anyway. But these I don't put in the pressure pot. I don't worry about these. They're small. They've always worked out fine. See, there's a dry spot right there. That's why you want to be sure you have it well mixed. Because if you turn it and you end up with that dry spot, that's no good. Okay? A brush mark in there, but that's all right. So we'll go ahead and top this guy off. Right to the very top. And these go right in a set of jaws. The 1 3/8 easy reach jaws for Easy Wood tools. So I'm just going to carry this guy over here, gently set it down on the cabinet. Right. Now, one more to go. One more to go, right? Hope you're all hanging with me. Hope I'm not boring you, having fun for me, for myself with resin, but I am having fun. So let's go yellow resin in here. That's fluorescent yellow. I wanted to do one in stone. This one isn't marked, but it looks like possibly green jade. Color jade here real quick. Nope, that's different. Copper mine. These are different colors. Yeah, it's copper mine. Different colors of powders mixed together. They're polymer powders, polyester polymers, Chromacraft. And I have a ball playing with these. It looks like real stone if you make the concentration strong enough. So I'll give it about that much, and then we'll go ahead and give it its stir. Here. There's such a thing as, well, it's not granite because it's gold mine, but a yellow tinted granite or type of stone. If not, there is now. We just made it. Just, you know what we might do is we've got extra resin. I might have a little fun. Sometimes I'll do a different color for the very bottom. So I've got this blue here, and if I fill this up with enough stone, the blue won't sink, and we'll have a two-tone. So good bit more stone in there. Good stir. That's the beauty. This resin has the 2-hour open time. If I was working with Alumilite, we'd already be in trouble. It would have already set up. Okay. So I really enjoy working with this product. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add some of this blue that's left over. It usually doesn't migrate in, but if it does, hey, what the heck? We'll fill that one right up to the top as well. And we'll go sit it over here on the counter. And I wish I had one more egg handy. I think I almost have enough for another egg, but not quite. And I hate wasting it. Not quite enough for an egg. Let me look real quick around here, one more quick time, and then we're going to wrap this up anyway. If I have one more egg mold handy, I've got the lids. I just don't seem to have the egg. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll do something different. We'll make, if I can find the other half, we'll make a sphere. Let's make a sphere. Oh, there's an egg mold. But now I want to make a little sphere. Cast resin sphere, I've got these silicone molds. If I can find the other half. Sometimes they work great, sometimes not so much. They stay together. Is that going to work? Maybe. So what I have is a sphere mold. All right, got a little base on it. Got a hole in the top. 2 pieces. It's already got some glitter and stuff in it. Trick is these were cheap. They're a couple of bucks for the whole set on Amazon. I'm going to attempt to tape this together. Attempt is the operative word, and see if I can keep it from prying itself open. And we'll pour the last of this resin in here, and we'll have a little sphere. There's always fun things to do with your resin. Don't hesitate to try new stuff. That's what I preach it all the time, I know, but it really does make a difference. You can have a lot of fun doing things you never thought that would work. Ah, that was bad. Dropped it right into sawdust. All right, I'll be getting another piece of tape. My bad. So we'll edit that out. Not. All right. All right, let's try and keep this together this time, Bradley. Now, I know it's silicone, so it doesn't really want to stick to it. If I can get it all the way around, sticking to itself, it helps. If they were better quality molds, they would be tight. But for a couple of bucks on Amazon, what can you expect? May not work. I may just have to take my chances on it. I'm going to throw away the tape. It's probably going to blow its lid off, but if it does, it does. All right? And then the trick, of course, is to pour it into mold. And I think I'll let you watch this disaster from there. It may work, it may not. I have a little funnel somewhere. It will go in these. So if you get the right stream going, have a steady hand most of the time. It'll probably, like say, it'll probably crash and open that top edge. If it does, oh well. I'm going to leave it sit here. I'm not going to touch it. And all it's going to do is drip, run out on this paper and on the floor. So I have just a touch, but I'm going to top that off. I'm being very optimistic here that it stays together. I'm going to top it off with yellow. Stay together. Yellow is disappearing down in the middle of it. Boom, there we go. All right, so that pretty much used up the resin. There's just a couple of drops in each pot, each little cup, each little bowl there. I don't know about you, but I had fun. Let's look at the time over here real quick. It's 12:50, 1 o'clock, so I got a half an hour before I get to start again. That means I have time to eat a sandwich. I'm supposed to be back out here at 1:30, so that's all good. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out again with me this morning here on the Guest Regional Turner section of today's seminars. Again, next at 1:30, I'll be back out here turning the resin that we cast yesterday that's in the pressure pot over there. And then at the end of the day at 4 o'clock, I will be working with the Sorby Spindle Master. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we're going to have a nice full afternoon. I'm going to run grab a sandwich. I hope you guys do the same, depending on where you're at in the country. Again, if you don't make it back, thank you very much. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. And I'm going to turn off the stream, and I'll see y'all in about a half an hour. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.